Banned candies that can kill. Who doesn't like to have some candy once in a while? And there are plenty to choose from. No matter how old you get, your love for candy never dies. While you might limit yourself from overdosing with the sugar rush though, you probably won't completely stop having them. Candies have this mysterious power of lifting our bad mood always. Candies and a good time is a tale that is as old as time. Exploding gum. Candy companies are desperately trying to come up with something new every season, and with a new ray of hope for their sales to skyrocket. One such incident was when a Ukrainian chemistry student in the year 2009, after he supercharged his bubblegum that had devastating results, so he would often dip it into citric acid before chewing. But soon one day, he used the wrong powder and instead dipped it into explosives. All it took was one chew and his gum exploded in his mouth. Most of the lower part of his face was blown to pieces, and he died soon after. Lucas Mexican candy. It was one of the most in-demand products around the world from South America. The candy was sold in a shaker container that children could use to shake it into their mouths. Some were seen shaking the powder onto the table, arranging it into a line and then sniffing it, which immediately worried people about the similarity to drug use. Lucas claimed that this resulted from using the product wrong, and then it was designed to be lightly sprinkled on fruit to make it taste better. But later, when their test showed in, they found that they had twice the amount of lead that is to be allowed. Hence, they were immediately banned by the regulators. Candy cigarettes. As the name suggests, they resembled a box of cigarettes that were made from sugar gum or chocolate that was wrapped in paper in a pack. Some of its varieties even included powdered sugar that you could blow through the candy stick to simulate the smoke. Cigarette manufacturers even helped with the production of the candy and allowed their branding to be used on the packets. Studies had shown that a percentage of smokers who had candy cigarettes when they were younger was higher than the people who didn't smoke, so the link between the two has been proved to be significant. What seems like an innocent children's treat is probably responsible for the most deaths of any candy ever, and it's no surprise that scarce places now allow these to be sold. Butterfingers. This amazing chocolate is banned in Germany. Butterfinger is just heaps and heaps of sugar masked as something kids can eat. This candy is terrible for you if you plan on having all your teeth by the time you have grandkids. The sticky part gets stuck into your teeth and pretty soon your dentist is popping them out of your mouth. That's not even all the damage it does. The artificial ingredients like TBHQ, citric acid, genetically modified corn, and the hydrogenated hated palm kernel oil could actually send you to the hospital. They're so bad for you that they can make you live your entire life on drugs. I think banning this candy was a really good idea. Hippie Sippy. The 60s were the most experimental times of all. Probably that's the only explanation for how a product like Hippie Sippy ever made it to the market eventually. They consisted of multicolored chocolate balls contained with a vial, and to get them, you had to suck through the needle. They were designed to replicate hippie drug culture with the needle and syringe being associated with heroin use, and colored balls representing uppers and downers. To make things even worse, they came up with slogans that say, "I'll try anything," and "We sell happiness." Needless to say, they were pulled from the shelves less than a year after being released, as they were spreading the wrong message to the children: using drugs is fun. Chinese medicine candy. On the popular e-commerce site known as Taobao, numerous vendors have popped up selling medicine that claims to cure many such ailments. These candies just don't cure a garden variety of unhappiness-related issues. Still, some of them actually promise to give you a long life without aging and better luck with the ladies. China's Food and Drug Administration issued a notice telling consumers to steer clear of such items, often packaged in white bottles that wouldn't look out of place in a pharmacy. This candy is not sweet, it is not edible, and should no way be consumed by a child. Then why would they name it candy? Anyway, moving on. Lolly's Pipe. Lolly's Pipe was available in a wide range of flavors. Made from candy, these were designed for smoking certain substances, and one of their marketing claims that they were flame-proof, so they could be used time and time again. They became really popular with smokers, but they were believed to encourage children to try out what they were designed for, promoting drug use by underage people. The pipe was banned thereby in every 7-Eleven store in Indiana, following complaints by parent groups. Tamarind lollipops. Somehow it seems sweets come into the unintentional side effect of having too much lead. Tamarind lollipops seem to have joined the danger zone. The lead lollipop scandal began when a 2-year-old boy from Orange County, California was discovered to have an extraordinarily high and clearly dangerous quantity of lead in his system. Lead levels in the lollipop wrappers were as high as 22,000 parts per million. That's a lot more than what's considered safe. Following the 2001 instance, several other cases of lead poisoning occurred, prompting California officials to enact a statewide ban. Just so you know, lead poisoning can cause things like pain in the abdomen or joints. You can also get constipation, nausea, or vomiting. This also included loss of appetite and fatigue, learning disability, and slow growth. Still want tamarind candy? I think you should give that another thought. Airheads. There are 8 flavor options for the Airhead candies. However, when the candies were first released, there was only one flavor option, red. The Daily Mail reported a funny fact about the Airhead candy that people couldn't agree that the flavor was either cherry or strawberry. So they enhanced the flavor and color combinations. Let us get into the details of this candy. It has 130 calories, 1 gram of fat, 5 grams saturated fat, 5 milligrams sodium, 30 grams carbs, 21 grams sugar, and most importantly, 0 grams protein. Is there any nutrient combination that is as unhealthy as this? If something has a mystery flavor and you don't know what you're eating, is that already enough reason for you to stay away? Fun Dip. In the movie Willy Wonka, the candy maker delights children with his everlasting gobstoppers and scrum-diddly-umptious chocolate bars. This is what Fun Dip does, but in an evil way. Fun Dip candy is basically a sweet stick that can be dipped into the powder-like substance in the packet. The primary constituent of this candy is sugar, amounting to 90% of the content. And the rest of the candy is made up of artificial flavors and colors. You might as well just dip your tongue directly into the bowl of the white powdery thing. Roadkill Gummy Candy. In the year 2004, Kraft thought that they had come up with the idea which would stand out among all the gummy candy. Each one of them was made in the shape of chickens, squirrels, and snakes with the marks of tire tracks on them. They ended production of the treats by the following year due to a series of campaigns by animal activists who claimed that they were promoting the idea of injuring animals. Kraft was forced to rethink and relent their strategy. So much sugar or candy corn. Now this is another sticky, sugary, full of fake ingredients treat. Most of the natural ingredients the candies claim to have are actually replaced by artificial and chemical versions of it due to cost cutting in production and the need for more profit. This leads to blood level imbalance, type A diabetes, and causes similar health issues. These candies are chewy, and candy corn may also stick to your teeth, raising the risk for cavities and creating long-term dental problems. Toxic Waste Chew Bar. The specialty of the Toxic Waste Chew Bar was in its extreme sourness, but there was one other similar product called Toxic Waste Nuclear Sludge Chew Bar that was banned in 2011. The company's factory in Pakistan and the following test, the FDA revealed that they had detected significant levels of lead within the chew bars to a level that could be potentially harmful to small children. The bars were found to have at least 3 times the required lead levels. Hence, they were removed from the stores and they're gone for good. Twizzlers. What would you do if I told you that this candy was older than your grandma? Twizzlers have existed since 1845. That's a long time to keep doing damage to people. Twizzlers look like a rope that you can eat. They really are totally made out of sugar, some refined flour, and a bunch of artificial ingredients thrown in to make it sweeter. That doesn't sound like a healthy option to me. A man has claimed that after years of eating this candy, he now developed a serious heart condition. Looks like the sugar destroyed his life. How sad is that? Or Warheads. They're the favorite sour candy of people who think sour sweets are to die for. First thing you gotta know is that the acid makes these candies so sour that they can be super dangerous for your body. Turns out this candy attacks your teeth faster than other candies. If you eat too many Warheads, you could also get uncomfortable canker sores in your mouth. Man, that sounds scary. If you think we're exaggerating, you should probably check the pack of the next Warhead you buy. Even the company warns you against eating too much if your mouth is sensitive. Looks like the candy's name is a little too correct. It literally goes to war with your body. Jawbreakers. Ever tried fitting a whole jawbreaker into your mouth? Unless you get a small-sized one, that's pretty much impossible. Jawbreakers are some of the biggest choking hazards, and that's why you should avoid them. There's a whole movie on how this popular candy can choke you to death. The movie called Jawbreakers is about high school kids who killed the prom queen by stuffing her with jawbreakers. Oh, that sends chills down my spine. Oh, and one more thing. If you ever get the urge to throw a jawbreaker into the microwave, don't do it. The different layers of the candy melt at different points, and that can make you get a face full of hot candy. Seems like candy isn't the best thing after all. Baby Ruth. One bar of Baby Ruth contains 260 calories, 12 grams fat, 7 grams saturated fat, 130 milligrams sodium, 35 grams carbs, 1 gram fiber, 28 grams sugar, and 3 grams protein. Baby Ruth candy bars have been a fan favorite since 1921. For nearly 100 years, kids and adults alike have enjoyed many a Baby Ruth. But this popular candy bar has one of the highest calorie counts of all candy bars, and it's definitely not skimping on the sugar either. The creators of the bar claimed it was named after the current president's daughter, Ruth, but the most obvious association is with the Yankee star, Babe Ruth. So what's your opinion on munching on these ruthless candies? Free candy. Who doesn't like things that are free of cost? But in Madrid, Spain, the tradition of giving sweet treats for free has been banned. On the 5th of January every year, towns across the country hold a Christmas parade called Caligad de Deus, which sees 3 wise men greeting children before handing out gifts. These men are taken through the streets to a church in a carriage, and part of the tradition involves throwing candy from the carriage into the crowds. However, it has led to several injuries as children scramble to collect what they can, and something unfortunate happened in the year 2013. A 6-year-old boy, Malago, was killed when he went into the street to collect some candy and was hit by the carriage. And children in the region will have to resort to getting their candy the same way as the rest of us, by annoying their parents until they come around. Kinder Eggs. Kinder Eggs and Wonder Balls are one of the candies that are the dearest to all children, and some adults too. The specialty of these candies was that they came with a plastic toy to play with, once all the sugary goodness is gone. Each Kinder Egg contains a collectible toy to assemble, but it has been banned in the US for a long time. It was due to a law passed in the 1930s that strictly prohibits non-nutritive objects from being placed inside any type of food. The major concern was that some people wouldn't be aware that there was something in the treat that can't be eaten, and it would lead to a serious choking hazard. A 3-year-old girl in France died after choking on a toy in a Kinder Egg. Haribo sugar-free gummy bears. In 2014, their sugar-free gummy bears gained major attention, mainly because of the side effects experienced by the people who ate them in large quantities. This was because of the replacement of sugar, like glycosine, a substance that's almost as sweet as sugar but contains half the calories. Its main ingredients are maltitol, sugar alcohol, and our bodies can't fully digest these. If it's present in high quantities, it can start to ferment in our stomach. Because of this, Amazon reviews were rather detailed, with some calling it napalm and saying that it caused intestinal distress. Nestle Magic Ball. These candies were quite famous throughout the 1990s. So the Nestle Magic Ball was basically a chocolate ball with a plastic toy embedded in the middle. Toys are generally of the Pokemon or Disney variety, typical kid stuff. However, these sweet treats are illegal. The major issue concerned with Nestle Magic Ball was that children might not understand the difference between the chocolate and the toy, leading to a choking hazard. For example, there have been several instances worldwide where injuries have happened because of swallowing the plastic figurines. 3 Musketeers. These candies are heavier in terms of causing health issues. A single candy bar has 5 grams of saturated fat and more sugar than 3 Krispy Kreme donuts. Hydrogenated palm kernel oil was listed as an ingredient. Did you know that 80% of the fat in palm kernel oil is saturated? Saturated and trans fats are to be avoided at all costs, if you didn't know that already. Smarties, also known as Rockets. This ban is based on what school in the USA you go to. For example, if you go to Scarborough Middle School in Maine, USA, you obviously will not see them. Apart from that location, other schools over the years, students have been caught snorting crushed Smarties. Kids actually go to the back of their classrooms, crush up a couple of Smarties, and sniff them up. Is that not scary? Imagine kids trying to do everything like adults, though a different substance. This must be worrying. The candy and act of snorting are pretty ridiculous, but it has health risks, like any other powder going up your nose in all seriousness. This includes asthma attacks, long-term breathing problems, and nasal maggots, which are rare, but no one denies the possibility. One of Milky Way's variety. These candy bars come in fun-size packets, containing smaller bites, which should help with portion control. However, a serving of these smaller bars still contains almost around 21 grams of sugar. They have hydrogenated palm kernel oil, which is extremely bad for our hearts, the climate, and orangutan survival. Plus, the caramel and nougat are prime candidates for sticking to your teeth and causing cavities. Sour Patch Kids. Their fruity flavors and colors are not actually derived from actual fruits. The Sour Patch Kids' major constituents are sugar, corn syrup, and these sweet and tart candies also contain artificial flavors and colors. Even though the United States Food and Drug Administration maintains that artificial additives like Yellow 5 are safe, as the study in the candies is progressing and science is mixed, some food companies respond to consumer concerns by removing these food dyes and turning to natural alternatives. Hershey's Take 5. Made mostly of sugar and refined flour, one bar pack of this candy gives you 18 grams of sugar and a quarter of the daily value for inflammatory saturated fat. The company is working towards using non-GMO products in their Kisses and chocolate milk products. They will also be removing artificial flavors, colors, and high fructose corn syrup in the future. Kit Kat. Kit Kat candies are ones that'll add up pretty quickly due to their addictive qualities. When you are eating candy, you can't stop at one, and chemically your body gets these serotonin and dopamines, say reports. According to Mental Floss, Kit Kat candies are so popular and addictive that there are more than 200 flavors in Japan. There are tons of unique variations on the original treat in the Middle East and the Philippines and the US. 100 Grand. This fueling snack that won't leave you with a sugar crash a few hours later contains 200 calories, 8 grams fat, 6 grams saturated fat, 90 milligrams sodium, 31 grams carbs, 0 fiber, 22 grams sugar, and 1 gram of protein in a single bar. The 100 Grand bar has 22 grams of sugar, so if you decide to indulge, it's recommended to best overcome a sugar crash by consuming healthy protein sources. Heath Bar. Around 1914, Heath bars were a longtime favorite consisting of toffee and milk chocolate. Considering that toffee itself is made with butter and caramelized sugar, it is unsurprising that this candy bar is so high in sugar. Heath bars also have more fat than several other candy bars on this list. Let's look into the nutritional content. One Heath bar contains 210 calories, 13 grams fat, 7 grams saturated fat, 140 milligrams sodium, 24 grams carbs, 0 grams fiber, 24 grams sugar, and 1 gram protein. Mr. Good Bar. Mr. Good Bar joined Hershey's lineup in 1925 and was even marketed as a healthy lunch option during the Great Depression because it includes peanuts. But even the peanuts pose a health problem because they're coated in fat and are fried later. However, since we are far past the Great Depression, trust us, at 260 calories per bar, you're much better off skipping it and munching on a handful of plain peanuts. Laffy Taffy. Laffy Taffy Mini Bar has 140 calories, 19 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of total fat. Did you know that Laffy Taffy was brought to life with the help of a few people? The first was the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl. The second was Quaker Oats, who helped finance the film version of the book to create the accompanying real-life candy line, Mental Floss reports. Nestle, which currently owns the Wonka brand, makes over 13 different Wonka-inspired sweets, according to the official website. But if you are mischievous like the kids in the movie, keep in mind before eating the candy. Tootsie. Tootsie Rolls are low in fat but quite high in sugar. They were created back in the day of World War II. For World War II soldiers, this sugar rush gave them energy. Mental Floss reports that the candy rolls were in every World War II soldier's rations because they wouldn't melt or go bad over time. Mayo-Am. This next candy got its bad reputation not for its ingredients but for its packaging. Mayo-Am was a fruit-flavored candy sold in England. It got very popular because of the little green mascot that was printed on all of its packs. The little guy was pretty adorable, but when combined with the personified fruit on the package, the resulting pictures weren't really kid-friendly. Just take a good look at this lemon-flavored Mayo-Am. It's pretty obvious that there was some pretty weird stuff going on in the pictures here. One father actually brought this to the attention of the media, and a lot of people realized how strange it was that no other parents noticed the problem. Turns out a lot of kids don't pay attention to stuff like that. Who knew? The company did eventually change the image on their packaging, making it a much more kid-friendly image of the same mascot riding a skateboard. that's gonna smooth over a lot of ruffled feathers for sure. Toffee crisp. Sometimes candies get the axe for the weirdest reasons. And in America, one of such reasons is simply because the candy's made in another country. Reports say that Cadbury was sued by Hershey to stop them from importing British chocolates. Hershey said that they infringed on their trademarks. Toffee Crisps, for example, have been accused of being a knockoff of Reese's products sold in the United States. Jelly Mini Cup Sweets. For those who don't know, Jelly Mini Cup Sweets are individual, mouth-sized servings of candy. They're designed to be pushed into your mouth when you push hard on the container and then eaten in one single bite. Turns out they were at risk because of their consistency, shape, and form. And that warning kind of shows that they aren't healthy for children. The UK's Food Standards Agency and the Department of Trade and Industry put a ban on them because of how easily small children could choke on them. Another reason is that the jelly sweets contain additives derived from seaweed or certain gums. The UK's Food Standards Agency and the Department of Trade and Industry had previously said an ingredient of the sweets containing an additive called Kojak should be removed from sale. Kojak could block your stomach, and nobody wants that. Fun fact, not being able to poop could land you in the hospital. Better safe than sorry. M&Ms. The sale of M&Ms was outlawed in Sweden in 2016 after a court found that the popular candy's packaging and marketing were too similar to that of another chocolate confection, M by Marabou. Mondelez International, which holds exclusive trademark rights in Sweden, markets the latter brand with a lowercase m as well. M&Ms can technically be sold in Sweden if Mars changes the packaging and marketing, but I don't think they listen to the court. Be yourself even if you get banned. Enjoyed the video? Now watch this one.